Hey YouTube, Dark Magician 84 here, and welcome back to What If Wednesday. This time I'm talking about Firewall Dragon, another of my favourite Link monsters. Maybe at some point I should do a top 5 or 10 Cyberse monster list. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to talk about what would happen if Firewall Dragon was my favourite card instead of Dark Magician. Again, it would be a similar situation to the whole Decode Talker thing. I'd try and figure out what deck could bring out Link 4s more easily. I guess I would still try and make a Cyberse deck, since it can link climb. I know Goki's could as well, but with me being more interested in protagonist archetypes, I'd lean more towards Cyberse. Of course, the only issue is this card was ridiculously hard to get back then. I mean, I can't remember what it was valued at back then, but I would have done whatever it took to try and get one. But either way, once I got it and built my Cyberse deck, like, again, many months before I actually built it in 2018, that would be the signature deck, and yeah, Dark Magician would unfortunately take a back seat. Like, again, I would still play Dark Magician, Elemental Heroes and Rainbow Neo, since they're all-time favourite decks of mine, but the Cyberse deck would then be the signature deck, and Firewall Dragon would be my favourite and ace monster. But of course I wouldn't be using it in the same way as the competitive players were, just using and abusing it for FTK and OTK purposes. I would be playing it in the deck that it was meant for. And this would still be the case. Of course, I don't know how good my Cyberse deck would be at first. I would pick up maybe one or two structure decks, and oh yeah, and the starter deck which had Encode Talker. That's something I forgot to mention, like in the last Yu-Gi-Oh! What If video I did. But there's a moth in here. But yeah, I would get that, and just design the deck to just try and link climb into Firewall Dragon as easily as possible. It would also run Scapegoat as well, because, well, that's like the easiest way to make Firewall Dragon. Just go Scapegoat on the opponent's end phase, then link them all the way into Firewall. Although it would be better if Firewall was co-linked to something, so that then I could use its bouncing effect. Yeah, depending on how I build my Cyberse deck, I don't know how well I'd do in the locals with it. It's hard to say. But with Firewall Dragon, I would have thought I would do quite well, depending on how many I played. Although, if I remember correctly, it did get limited at one point, or at least I'm pretty sure it did, some point in 2018. Why am I... No, I swear it did. Because I don't remember multiple copies being played in various decks throughout most of 2018. I don't know, am I remembering that right? I feel like it did get limited at some point in 2018. Either way, I still would have had my fun with it. I would have been a bit gutted if it was limited, but I guess I'd be okay with it. Considering I was playing one Dark Magician in my Dark Magician deck for like, what, 2 or 3 years in the past. Now comes the question of Firewall Dragon's banning, which did happen quite late on in 2018. When that would have happened, I would have been dismayed. I was like, my absolute favourite card just got straight up banned. I would have been pretty upset. Naturally everyone was really happy about this, and I would have understood why, because of all the OTK and FTK bullshit that competitive players were using it for. But I still would have been upset, considering that I wasn't even using it for OTK and FTK purposes. I was literally just playing it as the ace monster of my Cyburst deck. So, it would have made me wonder what the hell I'd do after that. I feel like what I would have done was just carried on playing my Cyburst deck, but playing it as a traditional format deck. Because, for those who don't know, in traditional format, all banned cards are limited. So that would have been the only way I could continue to play with Firewall Dragon. And I would have had to see if anyone was willing to play traditional format games with me. Of course, the only downside to that would be other players playing annoying banned cards that I really hate. You just don't know what could come up. Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, War Oppression, Vanity's Emptiness. It would have been annoying. I guess I would have also played Max C in my Cyburst deck as well, because why not? I mean, it's fine in traditional format, and it's just a ridiculously good card, and my second favourite hand trap, so I would have thought, you know what, I might as well, and add Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity to give it even more draw power. Still, I guess traditional format would have been more appealing. I guess I would have played that more than advanced format. But as for advanced format, I feel like Dark Magician would go back to being my favourite card that I can play in advanced format. And then, of course, I guess not much would change in terms of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Life. And then, of course, we come to the spring of 2021, when Firewall Dragon was errated and unbanned and put back to free. But once this would have happened, it would have given me all the more reason to play Firewall Dragon in my Cyburst deck again, and go back to playing it under advanced format. I wouldn't have been bothered by the errata. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I would have just been really happy that my favourite card would once again be legal in advanced format, and it would be a good time as well, because I guess 2021 was when Cyberse became one of my strongest ever decks, part of my Epic Elite decks. Because until before the end of 2020, Cyberse was more of a casual build, but with the support it got in recent sets for that time, it would have made Cyberse just even better. And I still would have tried to go for this more than Access Code Talker. I mean, Access Code Talker is better, but I find Firewall Dragon just more enjoyable. So yeah, I still would have tried to go for Firewall Dragon as much as possible, regardless of however many I played. And I think what I would have done with my Cyberse deck is focus more on the Firewall monsters, even including Firewall Exceed Dragon, and even playing Dark Fluid, and then later on Dark Fluid, Neo Tempest, Terahertz, and Singularity. So they would have been the focus. Although it would have, of course, required me to play Cyberse Magician, Cyberse Clock Dragon, Cyberse Quantum Dragon, and of course Firewall Exceed Dragon. So that's the direction I would have gone in, although it would have been difficult to play this deck in the minor league, because Transcode Talker is banned on the minor league list, or at the time of recording it is. I've no idea if that's changed, considering I haven't played in a minor league tournament since May. So yeah, it would have made the deck really hard to play. I mean, I guess I could see why, because it was too much of a help for Mathmex, and I guess Salomon Greats, but obviously, there was a time where Mathmex were big in the meta. But I guess what I could have done was make the request to get it unbanned, and have Mathmech banned in the minor league if that was the reason why Transcode Talker was banned. But who knows? But I reckon I would have had a good chance of winning a locals, if not a minor league tournament, with my Firewall/Cyberse deck, regardless. But who knows? And yeah, that's pretty much how things would go if Firewall Dragon was my favourite card instead of Dark Magician. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.